recent years, many agencies have been coming after residential care facilities more for all sorts of employment issues, such as paying overtime, meal breaks, a host of things that we'll talk about. In reaction to that, we put together this wage and hour guide for 6 minutes that actually is on a little bit more.
Good morning. I just wanted to give you some background. About 3 years ago, we partnered together with the 6 Minutes Board because it was clear that the DOL and the DLSC was increasing scrutiny of people in your industry and looking for particular wage and hour violations. So we had started collaborating with 6 Feds to try to find a way to help people in the industry have a cost-effective method to go about increasing their compliance. And in doing so, we wanted to talk about things that were particular to your industry, things like using sleep time exemptions, things like possibly on-duty meals, things because of how your industry is run. So in trying to understand the environment and the culture, we spent a lot of time working with 6 Fed, particularly George. We had a lot of conversations with him about what he had noticed in the industry, what was important to people who run the industry, how you staff your homes, and how that employment relationship may be different than a typical employment relationship. We also worked with Ron and went to visit some of his facilities in Southern California to get a sense of what the culture is like, the type of residents that you have there, their interactions with your employees, and really to better understand this home-like environment that is provided to the people that you care for. And all of that is so we have the background and the knowledge to help you get in compliance, but in a way that's going to make sense for how you schedule and how you staff your facilities.
There is, as we hinted at, there's a number of issues that are facing residential care facilities that have, we're behind on the PowerPoint, but I'm skip ahead. There's a number of issues that face residential care facilities when it comes to employment laws. A big one is payment of overtime. I know that a number of residential care facilities pay a flat rate per day and don't keep track of hours. That's been a huge issue that the Department of Labor, the Department of Labor Standards and Enforcement, which is the California version of the Department of Labor, and the courts have been coming after them for. Not documenting hours that employees are working, their start time, their end time, their meal breaks. Having a schedule where they, even if they write down their time, they're writing their start and end times at the same time every day, which looks suspicious to all these agencies because then it looks like they're just writing down their schedule and not the actual hours they work. They're always writing down 8 a.m. start, 5 p.m. stop. That looks like a schedule, not actual hours, because I don't know anybody that starts and stops at the exact same time every single day. Meal breaks, on duty meal breaks is actually mentioned, which can be a big thing for residential care facilities because you might not have somebody else to come in and take their place. Sleep time is often a big issue because you'll have people in the facility that are sleeping there overnight. Do you have proper documentation regarding a sleep agreement? Do you have proper sleeping arrangements? Do you private sleeping arrangements? Do you have a record of when they are interrupted in their sleep? Do they keep note of that? Talked about paying a daily wage instead of an hourly rate. That's a big issue. If they're traveling between work sites, maybe you have different facilities, and they're traveling from one facility to another. Are you paying them for that travel time during the day? Rest breaks. We talked about having proper, what we call pay stubs or wage statements to get your employees. Not having workers' compensation coverage for employees, or not properly deducting taxes for employees. There's so many issues in employment laws that affect all employers, and specifically residential care facilities. And this online wage and hour guide that we have covers all of these issues. Required notices, potential individual liability for owners and operators, even owners and operators that set up corporations or LLCs can still be liable for wage and hour issues, labor issues with their employees. So it's always something to be aware of and make sure that you're in compliance so that you can avoid lawsuits. As I said, there's a lot of things that have been coming down against residential care facilities in recent years. Some lawsuits are bigger than others, but it's definitely something you want to avoid.
So the next couple slides are showing you what the guide actually looks like that we came up in collaboration with Six Beds to help people in your facility. So it is an online toolkit, as Sarah said. The benefit of it being online is that we will go in and update it. So when laws change or regulations change that affect your industry, we're going to be able to go in and make sure that the guide is up to date with what is current. So when the minimum wage changes, for example, that's going to affect your industry, we're going to go in and change the guide. So it's better to have it online than in a paper format, which obviously can't be changed. This is what the home page will look like. On the left, these are all tabs to what the guide is. It also includes sample agreements, a sample timesheet, agreements for sleep time exemptions, things you can go in as change as you need to, but this gives you a template so you know the types of information that should be included, so that if someone were going to come in and audit you, you can make sure that not only do you have documents that set forth the correct information. On the right, we just have some publications, which might be things that may not be specific to your industry, but will still affect how your employment practices need to be run. We have a recorded webinar. There was a presentation we did for Six Beds where Alicia Winfield and I provided a training, and so that's what's captured in there, which goes through a lot of the key topics, sleep time, minimum wage, some other California wage and hour issues that a lot of people in the industry have had trouble complying with. So it just highlights those for you and what you need to do about them. If you were to click on the actual wage and hour guide, you will get to a screen like this, which these are sort of the different paragraphs and the different topics that are covered here. It's hard for you to read them probably in the back, but one is going to be about using one federal sleep time exemption. There's pages about using the second sleep time exemption, things about California wage and hour compliance. Each one of these, if you click on it, it will open to the relevant portion of the guide, which will look like this. And then, as I said before, we have in Word format sample agreements and documents that you can download and use, and you'll be able to go in and manipulate them. So you can add your company name, you can insert your employees, and tweak them as you need to. But again, this gives you a lot of the information that needs to be included in your document so that you are in compliance. I do have a couple paper copies in the back of the room. We're at the Six Beds table, so if you want to look at it and see, see more than just a couple pages to see what you're really getting for your money, you're welcome to do that. But it will be in online format, so it's continually updated.
If you ever have questions outside of what's in the guide, we also provide reduced rates on legal services for our Six Beds members for advice. So if you bought the guide and you have questions beyond it, you can always reach out to us for that. We have a great team of attorneys that who specialize in residential care. Alicia Winfield and I are the shareholders on the team. And then we have a great group of associates, Ashley, Miranda, and Leah. However, we also have probably 90 attorneys right now in Los Angeles alone, as I said, over 1,200 nationwide or worldwide, who specialize in employment. So we always have people who specialize in every question that may come up. If you have any questions for us, or if you want to ask any more questions about the guide and the services that we provide, we're sitting at the Six Bed table at the back.